Hello, everybody, and welcome to Montgomery Football on the Mire. I have waited 4 years to say those words, and we are pretty excited to be back on the air with you for the first time since 2017. Keith Glock, Jason Gray, Matt Pogue, and Mandy Shovlin here with you at Cougar Stadium for Senior Night, I should say. Just had the Senior Night festivities, as you saw, and we're getting set for kickoff against Phillipsburg. We are going to take a break for the national anthem, and we'll be right back, talk a little bit about this tonight's game, and we'll bring it all to you right after this. You're caught in the mire. It's the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Give it to me. Welcome back, everybody, to Cougar Stadium. Keith Glock, Jason Gray, Matt Pogue, and Mandy Shovlin with you for opening night of football in Montgomery, week 2 of the 2020 season. And if 2020 has taught us anything, it is how to be adaptable. And Jason Gray pinch hitting tonight for Tim Bartholomew, who is out with some family commitments that he couldn't get out of tonight. And it wouldn't be 2020 if we weren't hit with every possible issue under the sun that nobody ever expected, like testing the internet yesterday and to find out that it doesn't work today. So all of that said, Jason, welcome to the chaos.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here on a Friday night. Let's make that football back again.
We are hanging out. Let's talk a little bit about Montgomery and Phillipsburg. Montgomery 0-1. Actually, you know what? Before we even get into this, we got a couple of minutes here. Let's introduce the audience to you, Jason. They're used to hearing my ugly voice talk. Jason was the defensive coordinator at Monmouth Regional down the shore, a state powerhouse, and then went over to Robbinsville and founded the program over there. Head coach for nearly a decade. Jay, what was that like founding a program for you guys?
It was difficult, but it was rewarding. Definitely was, you had to take the good with the bad. I mean, similar to what we're going through today. So, but looking back at it, it was just it's fond memories.
After doing that, Jay, you're a defensive guy. So, tonight Montgomery's going to be up against a Phillipsburg team that, traditionally is just a rock'em sock'em robots, pound you in the face, run it down your throat. When you were a defensive coordinator and a head coach, how do you, combat teams like that where they might have a bit of a physical edge on you and you know exactly what they want to do?
You just have to stay patient. And the big thing is you won't want to give up the big play. So you just try to, frustrate them, make them, have to move the chains, and then hopefully you get a turnover, those sort of things. But you just pick your battles. But the one thing you definitely do not want to give up is a big play.
Montgomery will attempt to avoid that tonight. Change was also the name of the game for the Cougars last week as the quarterback of Montgomery, J.J. Malik, left last week's game on just the second play from scrimmage with a wrist injury. So Alex Benitez, the team's starting tailback and linebacker, was forced to fill in for Malik, and he did so pretty admirably, I have to say, given that, he's kind of thrown into a Justin Herbert-like situation with no warning, and here, take the reins, buddy. He was 7 for 18 last week, averaged about 7.3 yards per completion, which isn't terrible, but, you'd expect, Jay, without your starting quarterback, that Montgomery also would want to keep it on the ground with guys, like Benitez, maybe on some keepers. I'm sure that we're going to see a pretty good dose of Weber Carsey. Kind of tit for tat a little bit tonight, maybe.
Definitely. You definitely want to use the clock as against their advantage. So you want to run the ball. You want to keep the ball in your hands. Keep their defense on the ground. Look to just move the chains, and it becomes a chess match. Chess match definitely where you want to utilize your good athletes at the running back positions.
My, how things have changed as Kevin Thomas is the only Montgomery captain out for the coin toss. Usually, you see a parade of guys out there, kind of holding hands, walking out to the coin toss. This is just such an odd situation, Jay, that we've all gone through. But maybe high school football on a Friday night will just bring back a little bit of a sense of normalcy to everybody.
Definitely. It's, I'm sure if you ask all these young men and their families out here, back in June, what would they do to be able to go out and play the game of football? So that's the way I look at it is, there's a lot of change going on here, but we're blessed to be able to have these young men out here performing with the cheerleaders and the dance team and the band. So things have changed, but at least we have a moment where these kids could go out there and have a Friday night the way they used to.
High school football on the mire. I've been waiting 4 years to say those words, and boy, it feels pretty good. Happy to be with you from Cougar Stadium. Longest coin toss in the history of high school football happening out there. We had a pregame interview all set for you with Coach Carty, but our internet issues here forced us to plug on that. Phillipsburg has won the coin toss and will get the ball. Mandy Shovelin up on the roof of the press box, doing all the camera work for you today. We would love to have her down on the sideline, but again, COVID just isn't having that. So all that said, we are just about set for high school football. It's a gold rush on senior night here in Montgomery. Jay, a lot of emotion on a night like this just to be able to be back here for these guys. But what was opening night like for you guys, when you, at least a home opening night for you when you were a head coach at Robbinsville?
Very exciting. Every different emotion goes through you. All your senses are just heightened. It's definitely different being a coach to the players. Obviously, the players, you're going to have those butterflies. But again, if you've been coached up and trained to know what to do, it's in your hands, so you feel much better. Whereas a coach, it's much more difficult because you could try to put the guys in the right position, but again, they have to execute the plays, so that's a little bit more difficult for the coaches.
You're going to hear the name Alex Benitez a ton tonight because he does pretty much everything for Montgomery. He kicks, he punts, you name it, he does it. He'll take most of the snaps. Phillipsburg has a pair of players back deep to receive. If I could find my Phillipsburg roster, I would get that for you. Benitez approaches the ball, and we are underway for football. It is taken by one of the upbacks at the 20. And, Jay, just like you said, got to try to avoid those big plays. Could not do it there, and out to about the 46, 47-yard line, and that's where Phillipsburg will begin.
Definitely a tough situation there. A couple of guys lost contain, stayed out. They went out of their lanes, and there you saw a gentleman just break a little long run loss.
Matt Garrity is the quarterback for Phillipsburg, and a name that you are going to hear a lot tonight is Matthew Quittel. He is number 26. He's the workhorse back. He's a senior. He goes 5'10", 185 for the State Liners. Phillipsburg will come out under center. Single back is Quittel. Garrity puts a man in motion, and they will hand it straight up the middle to Quittel, and gain of about 4 there for the Phillipsburg State Liners on first down.
Well, again, Montgomery hopefully could just continue to hold the line. Obviously, the goal is to keep those rushing yards under 4 yards per carry, so we'll see if we get a push up front.
Phillipsburg going quickly as Garrity will this time work out of the shotgun. And you see this so often, especially in college football. Lane Kiffin kind of made this a little bit popular. Let's get to the line, let the coaches see what they see, and then they will kind of re-trigger the play out to everybody on the field, so this way you don't even need a huddle anymore. In the gun, Garrity will throw it this time. He zings it out to the left, and that is complete. It'll be short of a first down. That one was out to Jacob Hilly, a 6'1" senior.
Definitely a big down now. 3rd and short. These are the little battles that you want to win within the war of the game.
Phillipsburg again quickly. That's one of the other things that happens when you go quickly like this, and you can lull a defense into a false sense of complacency if you're consistently looking over to the sideline, and then all of a sudden you can quick snap a team sometimes. Again, Garrity in the gun. 3rd and short. Again, now to the motion to the near side. Quittel gets the carry, and he has a first down. He is down near the 30-yard line, but there is a flag on the play. Let's see how good our producer Matt Pogue is today. Nope, not yet for Pogue. Oh, and that must be somebody's towel. It actually is not a first down. So Pogue, you're off the hook for a hot second.
Makes it 1st and 10, State Liners.
Again, a little cat and mouse now. A little check with me with Phillipsburg is attempting here. So again, Montgomery just has to stay the course, weather the storm, and hopefully good things will happen.
Garrity again will work from the shotgun. Hilly then slides out to the left, and Quittel will take the carry off tackle. A lot of room out there for Quittel, and he is out near another first down.
Again, right now, Phillipsburg is taking advantage. They're winning the war up front. Their big guys on our big guys. They're winning the battle right now. These running backs, unfortunately, they're getting into the linebacker territory without even being touched. So hopefully we'll make some adjustments moving forward.
That is a first down for Phillipsburg. Splitbacks. I just read an article this week about why splitbacks is no longer an en vogue thing in the NFL, and Phillipsburg actually employing it here out of the shotgun, but they're going to switch actually to an I formation. Hilly is the up back and Quittel the deep back, and they will turn and hand it to Quittel. Again, a lot of running room. He nearly hurdles a man and is cut down after a gain of about 8.
Nothing fancy, just running the ball in between the tackles, a lost art. Again, the passing game is so huge now in our game, but if you could run the ball against a defense, that physically and emotionally can take a toll on you.
I formation again for Phillipsburg, and they will turn and hand it to Quittel, and he's off the left side. He's got a first down, and he is down inside the 10-yard line. It will be first and goal for Phillipsburg.
And again, the unfortunate thing of giving up yards on the ground, that's going to bring our defense, our secondary linebackers into the box where down the road you look out for a play action that could hurt you.
Garrity now will look for a little bit of guidance from the sidelines. And now he's got what he likes. He will take the snap and roll out to the right, throwing out to the pylon, and that is going to be caught, and they're going to say for a touchdown. I was unsure if they were going to say that he was down short, but no, and that was Quittel, the name that you're hearing all night, and Jay, just a little sprint option there.
Yeah, and that was the thing that I was afraid of. I wasn't sure if Phillipsburg would just continue to try to run the ball down our throats, but again, you got the secondary linebackers now peeking in the backfield, and that's where sometimes guys can sneak behind you.
8:37 to go, and Phillipsburg leads it 6-0. Extra point is up and good from number 38, Matt Hickade, and 7-0 Phillipsburg.
Again, this is football, so these young men, they know you just got to turn the page, learn from what happened this first drive. They got a lot of game left in them, so they got to keep the fight, stay focused, know your roles, do your job, and we still have a lot of game to play.
One of the issues Montgomery will face, as we kind of keep going here is you get socked in the mouth like that a couple of times in a row, and things start to build up on you. But first drive, like you said, football is a game. We're seeing now that it's not out of vogue to talk gambling. Every game in the NFL through the first 4 weeks felt like it went over in the score.
Definitely, with this pandemic, definitely tackling and these technical things that are so big in our game. You're not able to do it as much in the all season. Obviously, even just getting practice time in. So, yeah, tackling is a lost art right now. And again, because of this COVID thing, it's definitely hurting the game across the board, from college, pros, and high school.
Hickade back to kick it off, and he will send it in the direction of Mcfadden. And can it get out of bounds? No. And yeah, no, there we go, actually. Mcfadden pointed to the official and said, hey, that was out of bounds.
Kick out of bounds.
Pogue, you're 1 for 1 on the flag icon. That's a good job out of you. Kick goes out of bounds, so Montgomery has the option of making them re-kick or taking the ball at, is it the 40, Jay?
Believe so, yeah. So 35, 40-yard lines. Again, the rules have changed since I've been coaching, from the kickoff rules to, kicking the ball out of bounds. But it looks like it's going to be spotted at the 35-yard line.
We are out of practice. And, see, I was not going crazy because one of the officials, it looked like one of the side judges, his flag had fallen out of his pocket, like on the kickoff, and it was sitting on the field the entire first drive for Phillipsburg. So that that first time when I said there was a flag down, that was what I was seeing. He just went and picked it up now. It actually wasn't somebody's towel. Benitez is in the gun. He's going to keep it off the left side, and he gains about 3.5. So Benitez going back to what he does best and keeping it on the ground.
Absolutely. Probably going to see a lot of this. Again, I think the key now, since the defense had a first series, going to look for Montgomery maybe to use a lot of the clock, give our defense a rest. And again, you want to shorten the game now where you can use some of the minutes off the clock.
If Montgomery was smart, I don't know that you can get into a shootout with this team and win it. Then again, you might have to. Sometimes the score will dictate that. We'll see. Benitez in the shotgun, and he will keep it straight up the middle, and he takes an absolute lick. Holy mackerel. Steven Garral, the 6'2", 205 junior linebacker, sent Benitez to the ground.
And that is, again, could be an unfortunate situation because, I think P-Bergs know that Alex is our go-to guy. And so guys are really going to, focus in and look to take their shots on him.
Have not seen Weber Carsey touch the ball just yet. I am sure we will. Pharrell Allen also in the backfield now in motion on the wing. It is Benitez and Carsey. Allen slides back to the left, and Benitez will roll. Looks to throw. Gets it off, and that is caught complete for a first down out there. And that was Mcfadden. So a first down for Montgomery out near midfield.
Great job, great execution. And for a young man who's used to playing running back, for him to split out like that and try to gather his feet and throw the ball on the run like that, great start for the Montgomery Cougars.
Really impressed with his pocket presence on that. He was able to slide up into the pocket on that, the modified pocket. They really created a new pocket with the rollout, and that allowed him to avoid the sack and hit Mcfadden. Benitez again in the shotgun, and now we're going to have a flag and movement before the snap. Dylan Mcfadden, a 6', 173-pound senior. His brother Carter signed on to play football at Columbia this year. Obviously, that season canceled due to COVID. But Carter and Dylan both possess just remarkable speed.
Definitely a good thing to have. Speed, it kills. So, good things. It's great to hear about, some of the alumni going off and letting the game take them somewhere. They're very fortunate when they are able to play at a high level like Columbia.
So it was a 5-yard penalty against the Cougars. It'll be 1st and 15 now. It's Carsey to the left of Benitez, and Benitez will look to run. Pulls it down, and it's going to be out near the line of scrimmage.
And again, they're in a tough situation with the false start. That puts them behind the chains. So, again, with a team that really isn't going to look to have the pass game be the main threat, now this puts them in an awkward and difficult situation.
You get into games like this where, you understand that the other team may have a bit of a size and physical advantage. Are you looking to do some things that maybe they don't really expect? Maybe, I don't want to even say trick plays or anything like that, but I'm kind of saying trick plays.
Definitely have a couple of gadgets up the sleeve. Again, it's just picking the right time to use them.
See, that's why we bring football coaches on here. I call them trick plays. We use sophisticated words like gadget. Benitez looking to roll out. He is hit as he throws, and he sails it over the head of Mcfadden out near midfield.
And again, this is a tough situation for Benitez. This P-Berg, they know they're playing the game clean, but they know you want to take your shots at an athlete like that when you can.
One of the other things that's so hard in high school football especially is, this is not a recruiting situation where you have, 4 speed athletes all over the field. So if a team wants to really kind of dedicate and try to take away your best player, if it's dedicating multiple defenders to it, it's a little bit easier to do at this level.
Absolutely. You want to take away the stars, and you want to make the role guys make the big plays. And sometimes they are able to do it, and then sometimes you have long nights. So hopefully this is a night that the role players come up big.
3rd down and a bunch for Benitez as he will look to throw. And that is incomplete over the middle.
Benitez passing complete.
So that'll bring up 4th down and a punting situation for the Cougs.
And again, you just saw the little tempo, the rhythm was off, to be expected when you're, have the next man up mentality. So again, first series down, at least they're able to use some of the clock and move the ball. So hopefully moving forward, good things will come.
Benitez also obviously punts. Danny Gale, a 5'10 senior, is back to receive it. He stands at his own 25-yard line. Benitez gets it off a high spiral, bounces and takes a Montgomery bounce, and Phillipsburg will just get away from it. So all in all, that'll actually be a pretty nice net yardage. 38 yards, 39 yards, we'll call it on the net, but there's a flag, so we'll see what the officials say about that. You'll take a 40-yard punt out of a high school kid every day, though, Jay.
Absolutely. He's, again, athlete. So was it a great turnover spiral type of punt? No. But kick it away from the returner, let it bounce, let it roll. It's all about the yardage. So it's a great job by the Montgomery punt team.
Penalty is a face mask on Montgomery. That's a little bit of an odd penalty to actually have happen, on a play where nobody got tackled, and you're the kicking team on a play like that. That's...
Yeah, I'm sure the coaching staff's a little frustrated with that call. That's odd. So hopefully it won't hurt us.
Well, that negates what was a pretty good punt, and it'll be a 15-yard penalty. Unless they're going to make him re-kick. I don't understand this. They're going to make him replay fourth down. It's a 5-yard face mask, and they're going to make them re-kick. I didn't even know that was a thing that was an option on a play like this.
Yeah, the 5-yard face mask, I believe, is again when it's it's an accident, and the 15-yard is where you are grabbing the face mask and bringing someone down.
Danny Gale will wait at the 30-yard line this time. Just past the midway point of quarter number one, Phillipsburg leads Montgomery 7-0, and you see a little bit of protection issues for Montgomery as they gather everybody together. Good call and adjustment there as Phillipsburg will try to come after it. No dice, though, as they picked it up, and Benitez sails it towards Gale. He takes it out at the 23-yard line. Some room to run out there, and he's going to be tackled down at about the 37. That's where Phillipsburg will begin, 1st and 10.
Not bad. Good job by both teams, actually, but for Montgomery to protect the punter in the tight splits and be able to get downfield, stay in their lanes, and come up with a tackle. Great job by them.
See, this is why it's bad that we don't have a microphone on Poe, because I can't make fun of you on the air today, actually, but I'm glad that you're getting the hang of it. We will have instant replay for you tonight. This is our first foray, obviously, into football, so we're testing things out, and we're glad to have you along for the ride. Matt Garrity is the quarterback for Phillipsburg, and they will hand it off inside. And actually a really nice tackle there to prevent Quittel from breaking a long gainer.
Again, more of the same. Again, just up front, they're taking advantage. Again, it's tough sledding right now for our defense, so hopefully we'll get it together.
Benitez was the man who made the tackle. Man, you talk about guys that have to be in shape, to do this. I mean, after probably a month of doing this, Benitez is going to be, you could probably send him to go out and run a marathon, and the kid would have no problem. Garrity will turn and hand it off again to Quittel, and he is caught near the line of scrimmage. It is Benitez and Pharrell Allen that time there to make the stop.
And there's the difference. You saw a little bit of a push by the guys up front. Not sure if it was a run blitz or just a good run read by the linebackers, so able to penetrate and stop the runner basically at the line of scrimmage.
It's a 3rd and short play here for Phillipsburg, and this would be a good spot for Montgomery to try to get those guys off the field if they can. So as Garrity now gets his signals from the sideline, he will take the snap, and here's zing it out to the right, and let's see if they can make something happen. They can, and that looks like it's going to be enough for a first down. That was pretty nifty running there that time by Jaleel Terrell.
Well executed screen, jailbreak screen by Phillipsburg. Monty played it fairly well, but again, executed better by the Phillipsburg squad.
Pretty close to a pass interference play out there, just blocking potentially before that pass is completed down the field a little bit. It looked like it was more than 2 yards down the field, but is what it is. As Garrity will now work on first down and give it to Quittel off the left side, and he again is going to be hit for a gain of maybe a yard or two. Again, it's Benitez.
Again, I love the energy by the Montgomery defense. They are swarming to the ball, getting a hat on the ball. So, again, things are going a little bit better, but again, we got to get these guys off the field to get the offense back on.
2nd down and 8.
Shotgun again for Phillipsburg as Garrity will look to the sideline for guidance as we head on under the 3-minute mark of quarter number 1. Quittel will shift on over to the left side of Garrity. And Garrity will throw it. Looking and zings it over the middle and nearly intercepted out there. And it looked like that was Danny Turner.
And those are the moments you're looking to take advantage of as a defense. Came close to getting a pick. Hopefully another one will come soon. So, again, good job. And those are the type of plays that you want to take advantage of. But realistically, it was a very difficult play to make an interception.
It was Mcfadden who got his hands on the ball. And like you said, Jay, can't really blame Turner for that. You know, try stopping on a dime and then reaching behind yourself to snag that interception. That's tough. It brings up a 3rd down and about 8 yards to go for Phillipsburg. So, you know, one of the things that they can do is be versatile. I don't think they're scared to run it on 3rd and 8. And they're going to try to get going a little bit too fast, and we have a flag. And it looks like that's going to be a false start, and that will really put Phillipsburg behind the chains. That's not what you want on 3rd and 8.
No, I'm sure their coaching staff is a little disappointed with that because we were looking at basically a 2-down territory where they really have Montgomery, you know, on the heels, on their toes basically because they're at midfield. So they could have definitely ran the ball that last play and looked to come back on 4th down. Now this basically puts them in a passing situation.
2 receivers out to the left, and the single receiver to the wide side of the field is Timmy Fearson. Garrity will send a man in motion and drop back, looking to throw. Zings it out to the left, and that is dropped out there. And that, again, looked like it was going to be Jaleel Terrell.
Again, good penetration by the line up front. Definitely they're passing, they're rushing the passer very, very well, and they're improving on the run-stop game. So,
Mark Jenkins will go back to his own 15-yard line and await the Phillipsburg punt. And it is a good one. Jenkins will run up and then, for some reason, not catch it. Jay, you do football with me long enough, and you're going to know in about 2 seconds, because I'm about to go on my diatribe, that drives me bananas. Just catch the ball. Go, put your hand in the air. No one's going to hit you. You just lost 11 yards on that play just because you didn't catch the ball. Why would you not catch that ball?
I'm sure nerves have a lot to do with maybe also getting used to the lights, but I'm sure he's disappointed as well because all special team coaches there, they teach the returners, catch the ball. Please catch the ball. Don't let it hit the turf and lose yardage. So, you know, they're kids. So hopefully he'll learn from that mistake and get better next time.
1st and 10 for the Cougs, approaching the 2-minute mark of quarter number 1, 7-0 Phillipsburg. Alex Benitez forced into duty at the quarterback position after J.J. Malik suffered a wrist injury on just the 2nd play of the season. This is going to be Weber Carsey who bounces it outside, out near the 20-yard line. A good gain for Carsey on his first touch.
Great job by the offensive line, running back. Wonderful job running the ball, square shoulders, good vision, good feet. So, again, great run from Montgomery.
Benitez, as if he needed to run anymore, always gets his cardio in because Cardi wants to have a chat with him before every play, and that's how Montgomery runs their offense rather than communicating with signals from the sideline to the huddle. Mcfadden will now come to the wide side of the field left as Benitez puts him in motion. It's Carsey out to his left in the backfield. Mcfadden now motioning back out into the backfield, and they will throw it to him on a little bubble screen. Makes 1 man miss, now 2 3-men miss, and he's going to be very close to a first down, and it will be a first down.
Great job by the receiver. They really didn't execute the blocking scheme like they wanted to, but he made a couple guys miss, get it a first down.
And they will throw it to him on a little bubble screen. Makes 1 man miss, now 2 3-men miss, and he's going to be very close to at Mcfadden and the slippery speed that he possesses. So the Cougars moving the chains and keeping the clock moving as we approach the 1 minute mark. Benitez. He takes the snap, and now a little trap inside, and a well-designed play there as Weber Carsey picks up about 8 yards, and a very late flag comes in from the side judge in the back.
Again, another great play call, using their speed, their tenacity against them, using a little misdirection. And hopefully this flag is on Phillipsburg, because it'd be a shame after coming up with such a well-designed and executed play.
That is such an odd spot for that flag to come in on a holding play. You don't usually see that from one of the deep officials. And we'll see where it was marked from. So they're going to give Mcfadden about 8 yards and say that there was a hold literally right at the end of the play. How does that even happen, Jay?
It's frustrating. It really is. These are the jobs down that Coach Carty's probably going to have a little side discussion with the official to see if it really was something that flagrant. So it is high school football. You just got to turn the page and move on to the next play.
So as quickly as they had the momentum, they are now backed up. It is first down and about 12 for the Cougs. Jenkins in motion. It's going to be Benitez on a keeper as he goes off the right side, and he's got pretty good yardage out past the 30-yard line to the 31.
A good job. And again, the one thing that's just hurting us is we are hurting ourselves.
In motion, it's going to be Benitez on a keeper as he goes off the right side, and he's got pretty good yardage.
Get a clean game. We're going to make a game out of this thing, hopefully.
That was another gain of about 8 for Benitez, and that is going to take us to the end of quarter number 1. We have played 12 minutes here on the home opener for Montgomery. Easy for me to say. Senior night, Gold Rush. 1 quarter in the books. Peaburg 7, Montgomery nothing. We'll be right back with the second quarter of action right after this. You are caught in the mire. This is the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Welcome back to Montgomery. Keith Glock, Jason Gray, Matt Pogue, and Mandy Shovlin getting set for the start of quarter number 2. Mandy just came down here to check and see how things were going down here, and she zooms back upstairs to try to get things moving, and it's Benitez's pass out to the left that was short-hopped.
Yeah, I'm sure you wish you had that one back, but again, it's better for the ball to hit the ground than to go into the hands of someone in white.
Almost looked like Benitez got a little bit spooked, like somebody was going to jump that route, and ended up bouncing it in toward Mcfadden. But once again, you're seeing, Montgomery just really with a concerted effort to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, and you certainly can't fault them for that.
Absolutely. Just short-armed it a little bit, but again, they're trying to execute the game plan. And again, I think if for what it's worth, with that first drive touchdown, they're in a pretty good spot.
3rd and short for Montgomery. It's Benitez again in the shotgun, and he will look to keep it off the right side this time. Backside pursuit comes, and he's going to be real close to a first down, and they are going to give it to him. Needed 2, got about 2.2.
Short pickup on the play.
Tough. I mean, that was tough running. He squared his shoulders, lowered the boom, and we'll see if Monty's going to go for it here. They're going to give him the first down.
Yeah, I saw the official on the far sideline, signal to stop the clock, as you do when you get a first down. So I was kind of feeling like that was going to be the case. All things considered, not too shabby. 1st and 10 for the Cougs at their own 34-yard line, and, slowly and surely trying to march this thing down the field. Benitez will start empty and see if anybody goes to join him in the backfield as this play develops, and it will be Carsey. And he will hand to Carsey on the jet sweep, and he is met in the backfield, and he spins back towards the line of scrimmage, salvaging nothing out of negative.
Yeah, we can see what the Montgomery staff's trying to do. They want to spread him out, get him out of the box, and maybe hit him with a little jet sweep. But again, just a good job by the Phillipsburg defensive line where they got penetration off the defensive end. Shut it down.
You've seen guys in the NFL like Sean McVay really make the jet sweep, just such a staple of an offense to widen out those linebackers to just, even if you don't hand it to the guy, you have to respect the jet motion, and it'll allow you to pound it up inside sometimes more often than not. It's Benitez who mishandles the snap initially, and it's a jailbreak, and he's going to be stopped back at the 32-yard line.
And again, those things you just want to clean up. Worry about things you can control, but you don't want to have the self-implosions where, you're having the bad snaps and the penalties. And it's tough. I'm sure Alex is starting to feel it a little bit. So normally something that he would have been able to handle that snap in the first series. Now he's taking a couple of shots, and now you can see he could take a toll. And I'm sure that's what Phillipsburg game plan is too. Get as many clean shots as they can in on some of these athletes that we want to get the ball to.
So it's 3rd down and long. We'll call it 3rd and 12 for Montgomery. It's Pharrell Allen and Carsey in the backfield with Benitez. And Benitez will throw it. He's going to load up, take a deep shot. He's got a guy out there. Can he come run under? Yes! That is Mcfadden. Deep down to the 20-yard line of Phillipsburg. And, boy, when you say that there are athletes, that was a heck of a throw, and Mcfadden just ran underneath it.
Absolutely. You can't teach that. I'm sure.
He's going to load up, take a deep shot. He's got a guy out there. Can he come run under? Yes!
Come together and, under a week, again, shows their athletic ability, and again, the coaching, and again, the time that they put in this week.
A fantastic throw by Benitez. And just after, as we say that, he's able to fall on it after mishandling the snap. That's just not taking the time to watch that all the way into your hands because you're looking to make the first guy miss.
Absolutely, and someone like Alex, this is where you want to have that controlled aggression. Even with a big play like that, you want to get excited. That's the type of player where you want him to stop, slow down, breathe, because he has a lot of game left in him. So, again, just slow down the game, take things one day at a time, one game at a time, one snap at a time, so these things don't happen.
Montgomery way back behind the chains now. 2nd down and 18 for Montgomery inside the Phillipsburg 30-yard line. It's Carsey to the left of Benitez, and now they will send Jenkins in motion. Benitez will keep it off the left side, and he's got a pretty good gainer out there. We'll call it about 7.
Good run. A lot more positives than negatives, and you just wish those fumbled snaps and penalties. But that's why we play the game. So, again, keep turning the page. Keep being positive. You see Coach Cardi getting into Alex's ear, doing a great job.
8 minutes, 15 seconds left to play.
What you need here on 3rd down is yards. I don't know that you're going to pick up 12 on 3rd and 12, but you need 8 here to get it into 3rd and manageable or 4th and manageable, because I just don't know that you're kicking a 50-yard or 41-yard field goal from here. I just don't think that's happening. Benitez again with split backs, and he will throw it, looking out to the left, and it is going to be caught. And boy, did they make me eat my words. 3rd and 12, and they got 13.
Again, just executed very, very well, especially by the receiver. To know to run that route, get to the chains, turn around,
looking out to the left, and it is going to be caught. And boy, did they just inside the 10-yard line, so it'll be 1st and goal for Montgomery, and a chance to pull even here with Phillipsburg as we approach the 7:30 mark of quarter number 2. This has been a fantastic drive for Montgomery, and no bigger play than that chunk play to Mcfadden on a long 3rd down. Jenkins again in motion, and it's going to be a handoff to Carsey inside, and good pursuit on the backside from Phillipsburg and Stephen Garral.
Yeah, you just gotta tip your cap off to P-Berg there. It was great play by that player, by the defensive player, to get in the backfield and get a loss. So hopefully we'll learn from this, get some positive yards back on this next one.
Jenkins will come out as Benitez has the marching orders from Carty. It's 2nd down and goal, and they ended up losing a couple of yards as we're back outside the 10-yard line now on the 12. Carsey stands to the right of Benitez in the gun. And Benitez is going to keep it. He cuts it back into the middle, and he's got some yardage back down near about the 7-yard line. We'll call it a gain of 5.
Definitely a well-coached ball game from both sides. I mean, this is a wonderful chess match that we're witnessing tonight.
Normally you'd say chess matches aren't that much fun to watch, but, I think when you have the mighty behemoth of P-Berg against the vast underdog of Montgomery, and you're able to see the underdog push him around a little bit. Maybe not doesn't happen all game, but for one drive at least here, things looking pretty good for the Cougs. It is 3rd and goal. Ball is spotted at about the 8-yard line. And we are going to have a timeout. So with that timeout, we will take a break, and we'll bring you the rest of quarter number 2. It's Montgomery football on the Mire. Happy to say that after 4 years. Stick with us. You're caught in the Mire. It's the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Welcome back to Montgomery High School. Keith Glock, Jay Gray, Matt Pogue, and Mandy Shevlin. Montgomery knocking on the door here, trying to even the score against Phillipsburg. It's 3rd down and goal for Montgomery from the 8-yard line. Alex Benitez hooking up with Dylan Mcfadden on a long pass play earlier in the drive to set it up here. And Benitez will sling it over to the left, and that is going to be intercepted down near the 5. And this could be trouble. Benitez trying to track him down. I don't know if they are going to be able to. That is going to be a 98-yard interception return for Phillipsburg. My goodness. Now we got a lot of whistles back here. That usually means a flag. It was a fantastic play by Jaleel Terrell. And we'll see what all the whistles are about. I don't really know what all the whistles were about. When an official bangs on the whistle like that, it usually means that we had something crazy happening behind the play. Yeah, I don't see flags anywhere on the field here. They were using pink flags, looks like for breast cancer awareness, so they're a little less starkly visible, but there is a officiating conference happening. So we're waiting to see what the officiating. Any idea what that could have been, Jay?
The only thing I saw was where the excessive celebration as the player was running into the end zone. He looked back at the Montgomery player, but they called that. That's calling it a little tight. So they're probably discussing it and trying to come up with the best solution because again, you want to let these guys have fun, play the game, but also be good sportsmen as well.
It was a fantastic play by Terrell. Just kind of read Benitez's eyes and Benitez threw it right to him. It looks like it's going to be a sideline warning for Phillipsburg, so the touchdown is going to count. Yep. So it is unofficially a 98-yard interception return for Terrell. And, boy, you talk about a momentum swing there, Jay.
That's a backbreaker. So this is when you really have to regroup, go back to, the training and the coaching and just realize that, okay, turn the page, it's over with. Again, you say it over again. A lot of game left, but that one hurts.
The extra point is up, and it is good by Matt Hickade, and just like that, 14-0, Phillipsburg. Jay, you do something like that, and now you have to come back and immediately play offense. How important is it to get something positive in the books on the first play to just get the kind of the bad breath out of your mouth there of something like that?
You definitely want to preach just being positive. So you don't want to go too big. You just want to think to these guys, let's get 4 yards. 4 yards. You just proved, all right, for almost that. I don't know how many minutes it was, but you drove the length of the field. There's no reason why we can't do that again. So hopefully you get a good return here also to help out the offense. But again, you try not to really focus on the negative of that 14-point swing, which hurts. You really try to focus on moving the chains and, moving the ball up the field.
Mark Jenkins and Dylan Mcfadden are the deep men for Montgomery. One of the things about running the ball as much as these two teams do, you can go to a high school football game now and the game takes like 4.5 hours, but both these teams keeping it on the ground here, and it's been a pretty quick first half. Hickade will tee it up from the 25-yard line. And that is a function of the sideline excessive celebration. It was enforced on the kick, so I think that was a pretty smart piece of coaching there from Cardi to have them enforce this on the kickoff. See if you can get something going offensively because of it. Hickade puts a foot on it, and that is going to be in the direction of Mcfadden, but again, this looks like it will go out of bounds, and that results in another flag. Not too much bad I can say about Matt Pogue right now on the producer booth, which that really pains me because one of the things I like to do most is make fun of Pogue in these broadcasts. And the bad part is he doesn't even have a microphone on to defend himself today, so I can kind of take all the shots I want. So if you could start screwing up, I would really appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, coming into this thing, joining the crew for the first time for a sub, I was expecting just a horrible showing by Pogue over there, but he's been nothing but impressive. So I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Well, I mean, you were here for the pregame where there was mass chaos and insanity happening. I trust that you were here for that as well. I mean, no, I'm blaming all of that on Pogue because that's what I do here. But in any event, Montgomery's going to make Phillipsburg re-kick this thing. And again, I like that call as well because, they're clearly very weary of putting the ball in Mcfadden's hands here. But I think, you try to get them to kick him the ball and see what happens.
Absolutely. I agree with this move 100%. Hopefully you give your athlete an opportunity to break one here.
And they do send it in the direction of Mcfadden. He handles it at the 28-yard line, and he will bring it out past midfield, and here it is. He cuts it back into the middle, and he is going to be brought down in Phillipsburg territory. Right on cue, Sean Cardy's move pays off. It's going to be 1st and 10 for Montgomery from the 32-yard line of Phillipsburg.
Mr. Mcfadden is having a night. Again, great job by the guys up front, obviously. They did a great job getting on their angles, getting the helmet on the helmet, creating a seam. Great vision by Mr. Mcfadden, running north-south, and again, trying to run away from the tacklers. Great job to break one here.
We get another look at it here as Mcfadden just kind of broke through that initial wave of Phillipsburg defenders. Past midfield, and here it is. He cuts it back into the middle, and he is going to be brought down on the backside. But a great return from Dylan Mcfadden. Here is Benitez in plus territory. He's going to hand it to Carsey. He's going to bounce it off the left side inside the 30-yard line, dragging guys down near the 25, and they'll say forward progress is to about the 27.
Great job. And again, hopefully this is a time now where our guys, they pick up a little bit of swagger. Yes, you're disappointed from that last interception, but hopefully that ticks you off a little bit to where now that dogging is going to come out, to where now you really want to prove that you belong in this ball game.
And he is going to be brought down in under 5 minutes to go in quarter number 2. Here is Benitez in plus territory. See, there we go. There we go, Pogue. See, I knew you were going to screw something up sooner or later. Good job on that one. See, you tinker a little too much, and that's what happens. Jenkins again in motion, and they're going to say we got a problem. I don't know if that had to do with Jenkins' motion. I heard this week I was listening to podcasts, and Mike Garofalo had said that a lot of teams are calling that motion banana motion, just in a way to describe that. It's something I had never heard before, but I guess as the game evolves, that's kind of how things evolve.
Absolutely. Everyone puts their little, flavor on the game. And again, that just reminds me back when I coached, right, when everyone ran the Wildcat, and all that was a single wing,
Right.
offense. So we spice things up.
It's amazing how the terminology changes and things stay the same. Jay, I'm a Falcons fan. I'll get into that whole Wildcat thing. Reminds me of something else. And it's going to be Benitez again on the keeper, looking for a little bit of room, and he'll carry it down to the 30. You said the Wildcat, and back when the Dolphins kind of brought that back to in vogue, I was sitting there watching those games, and they're like, oh, my God, this is revolutionary. I said, did anybody watch Michael Vick play quarterback for like 6 years where him and Warwick Dunn, this is all they did? Because Vick couldn't throw it to anybody on his own team. It was, but again, all of a sudden you rename it, and all of a sudden it's popular.
Oh, absolutely. And with the unbalanced lines, my goodness, everyone's look at the lines and, putting out the quarterback. And then you show them reels of guys with, leather helmets, and, the kids and some of the parents and all the football faithful are like, oh, my goodness. So more things change, the more they stay the same.
Here is Benitez on third down, working out of the shotgun, rolling to his left. And he is going to be sacked at about the 37-yard line. Couple of different Phillipsburg defenders in there on it. Matthew Barna first there for it. Malik Warren also on the stop. Barna's a big boy, 6'2", 235 pounds. It's hard to avoid that freight train when he's coming at you, Jay.
Absolutely. And, again, we said this in the pregame. It's all about the big plays and not self-destructing. And those are the differences between the two ball clubs right now. Phillipsburg has played a clean game. Montgomery, though they're playing well, they've shot themselves in the foot. And when they need a big play, unfortunately, there's either, guys beaten or there's just a mental breakdown.
Interesting decision to go for it here on fourth down and long. I think maybe you feel like you're down 2 scores already, and now Cardi is going to call timeout because maybe he's thinking better of it. How do you feel about this here? Would you kick this, or you're going?
Well, it's definitely – again, I'm not in the locker room. I'm not there during practices. In the past, I have gone for it at times. Sometimes you look to run that fade and hope for a pass interference. And again, how well is their punt game? Do you have a punter that can pin them inside the 10 and hopefully inside the 5-yard line? Because if you end up kicking it in the end zone, you're not really accomplishing anything because you're going to bring the ball out. So you basically have 10, 15-yard difference. So again, and it's also an opportunity now to show, again, how much you believe in these guys. They know they have their back up against the wall. They know that it's next man up mentality. So maybe this is a moment where it's like, heck, let's go for it. We're here to win. So we'll see what the final decision is. Or it could be just a pooch kick.
We've already seen Benitez hook up with Mcfadden on a long down and distance play earlier in the drive, and obviously you're thinking that you're looking for the ball into the hands of 7:22 or 2 here as we go. 2:20 to play first half.
Probably going to pooch it. He's probably going to pooch it because he is the punter. He's probably just going to punt it from the quarterback position. No, he isn't.
No, he's going to throw it. He's going to step up, and now he's going to try to scramble away from some trouble, staying on his feet, still keeping his eyes upfield, and now he's going to be thrown down at the 40-yard line. So Benitez got himself out of some trouble initially, but good pursuit by Phillipsburg, and ultimately it's a loss of 3.
Tough down, tough first half. Again, you really just got to look to hopefully this defense to hold them down, and hopefully they could get out of here at the score where it is. And again, second half, again, a lot of things that you could talk to these guys at halftime to motivate them and know that they're still in this game. 14-0 is not a good place that you want to be in. But, again, I think Phillipsburg, you ask guys on that sideline, they would probably hope that they'd be up by 28-0 by now. So, there are no moral victories, but there is hope.
It'll be 1st and 10 for Phillipsburg from their own 40-yard line. 2:09 to play in the first half. It's the opening night of high school football here in Montgomery. Keith Clark, Jay Grime, Matt Pogue, and Mandy Shovlin here for the Gold Rush. Matt Garrity, the quarterback for Phillipsburg, will turn and hand it to Quittel. and he is going to be stopped after a gain of about 4 yards. It was Weber Carsey there on the stop.
Again, the secondary has to be thinking pass at all times. Don't get caught up in watching this run game. They may look to play action and look to go over top.
Garrity last week was not prolific but efficient, as he will look to throw, as you said. Now escaping out to his right. Looking. Now he slings it, and that is going to be incomplete. He was downfield again looking for Cattell.
This is a moment where, again, the defenders, they've got to look each other in the eye and just say, one more down, all right? Know where the chains are, okay? Know that you got to keep them from getting these 7-8 yards. And, hopefully we could get out of Dodge with the score at what it is.
Phillipsburg has not needed to go quickly just yet. I imagine that they certainly are capable of doing that if they needed to. We just have not seen it. Garrity will work out of the shotgun this time. And he's got Cattell to his right. They will now look to the sideline for some guidance. And Phillipsburg is going to have to call a timeout because a little bit too much time there. We'll take a timeout with them. 1:33 to go in the second quarter, and Phillipsburg leads Montgomery 14-0. We'll be back right after this. You're caught in the mire. It's the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Welcome back here to Montgomery, as it is a long third down for Phillipsburg, and it will be incomplete as Garrity's pass sailed out of bounds. So Montgomery might get the ball back here with 1:26 to go. I got to imagine you're going to punt this. You're not going to go for this.
Absolutely. Phillipsburg, though they may be a little frustrated with that series, they're definitely, probably going to punt the ball away and put the minutes left into their defensive hands.
This is certainly a situation for Jenkins where if you can get some return yardage on this, I think you want to. If Montgomery could somehow eke out some points before the half, that would be incredible. Nearly getting to it was Mcfadden. Jenkins will field it at the 15-yard line, and he will actually get about 8 or 9 yards on that return. And that's really all you needed there, Jay, is you put yourself into a decent spot at the 24-yard line.
Absolutely. So now, you look to run the ball. Maybe someone could break a long run and make something out of nothing here.
See if Cardi dips into that bag of gadgets, as you had talked about earlier in the game, and try to get some plays in chunk here. Now, what you don't want to do is do so at the cost of turning the ball back over to Phillipsburg and hand them some free points.
Absolutely. You have to be clean. Must be clean as we run out this first half. So whether you're going for a score or looking to just burn out the clock, everything must be clean. You must execute and concentrate.
Benitez sends Mcfadden in motion, and he will look to throw it. And it's just to be a little screen and nearly a fantastic play out in the backfield by Phillipsburg. And that was Raquan Dixon that time. But I like the idea of a screen there, getting the ball in Carsey's hands in some space.
It was a great call, and it was there. Again, the defender made a great play, was able to get the hands up and knock it down. But otherwise, that wouldn't have happened. We would have gotten at least 20 yards out of that play.
So we'll see what Montgomery has dialed up here on second down. 70 seconds to go before halftime. Phillipsburg 14, Montgomery nothing. Keith Glock, Matt Pogue, Jay Gray, and Mandy Shevlin with you on opening night here in the Cougar Den. Benitez waits in the shotgun, and now a little inside draw. We saw this play earlier, and Carsey breaks it for some yardage, and he's still on his feet out past the 40. It's a foot race inside the 40 to the 30, and that's where he's knocked out of bounds. Weber Carsey breaking off a huge run.
Crisscross counter, well executed. What a call by Coach Carty and his staff. Back in our day, we used to call that Joker. That's an old
Benitez
Delaware wing T-ball play. So well designed, well executed.
Saw this play earlier, and Carsey breaks it for some yardage, and he's still on his feet out past the 40. It's a foot race inside the 40 to the 30. The other direction, misdirection these days. You know, you get the defensive line looking in one direction and even flowing 1 or 2 yards in the direction you don't want, and that's how you can break big plays. 59 seconds to go in the first half, and that was just what the doctor ordered for Montgomery. 1st and 10 from the 32. This again will be Carsey. Watch the reverse. Mcfadden, is he going to want to throw it? No, he'll keep it and makes one man miss. But a good job by Phillipsburg to stay disciplined on the outside.
And again, there you just see the chess match. So again, wonderful play, but again, you see the speed and the swarming defense of Phillipsburg. But that was slow developing. They were able to redirect, whereas you saw with the short little crisscross, that one broke because it was quick within the box.
You saw Benitez directing some traffic. He's got it now, and he will look to throw it. He lofts it. He's got a man out there. That is Pharrell Allen. That is caught inside the 10-yard line, down to the 5. Montgomery's in business with 20.3 seconds to go here.
Great job, wide open, receiver there. Those are the tough ones when you have no one on you and you have a little bit of time to think about it. So great job by him holding in the ball and actually getting another extra 5 yards after the catch. Well done.
He's got it now, and he will look to throw it. He lofts it. He's got a man out there. That is Pharrell Allen. That is caught inside the 10-yard line, down to the 5. 1st and goal for Montgomery. Coach Carty calls a timeout so that he can get everybody on the same page. Boy, Jay, getting points here before the half, that would be humongous.
Absolutely. I was thinking the same thing now. I was thinking if I'm on the sideline, I'm like, we need points. Obviously, you want to get 7, but, you really want to at least get 3 here. So we must come away with points here. So, again, they are really just probably telling the guys out there to, again, focus, breathe, okay, and just execute and be positive, all right, and look to get the ball in the end zone, but obviously we're not going to turn this ball over.
This is one of those things where if you can score and then you go to the half and you get the ball to start the third quarter and can score again, that is how momentum changes and the course of ball games change. 1st and goal, Montgomery. This is Benitez, and he's got Carsey to his right. It will be Benitez. He's going to keep it. He is inside the 5. He is stopped, and it will be another timeout from Carty with 13.7 seconds to go, and that is his 3rd and final timeout of the quarter, which brings up an interesting situation. You think you have to go to the air here for the duration, you would think, right, Jay?
Yeah, that's the safe play, is that you're going to, you probably use Alex's legs, get him out of the pocket, and basically tell him either you're going to throw it into someone's hands, they're wide open, or just throw it out of bounds and look to kick the ball and get 3 points, hopefully.
I think if you can dial up something quick enough on 2nd down here, you might have 2 shots at the end zone with 13 seconds before you have to kick the ball. So I really think you're also telling Benitez, listen, I need you to do something, but you have to do it pretty fast here if we want 2 cracks at this.
Absolutely, and you made the right call. I was thinking it was 3rd down. 2nd down, obviously, yes, you can take a quick crack, whether it's just, obviously you may not think slant because we got it. That didn't work last time. So, again, you really are putting a lot of faith into your quarterback.
Benitez has Carsey to his left. 2 receivers split out to the wide side of the field. It's a low snap. This was the one thing you absolutely could not have. You just could not have it, and Montgomery's not even going to be able to get back here and spike this, or maybe they can. Let's see if they can get set with 2, with 1, and nope, and they're going to say that Montgomery never got set. And if you're looking for a culprit on that play, that looked like it was Brooks Dahl, who didn't get himself back and set on the line, and that is going to cost Montgomery potentially points as they tried to spike it and stop the clock before the half. The clock reads 0, but we'll see what happens. I think this is going to send us to the half. The signal from the official looks like it is just going to send it to the half. Benitez a little hobbled, and that's certainly not what you want to see. So you go from potentially punching it in for 6 to not getting any points to your quarterback being a little bit hobbled, and boy, the fates have changed a little bit as we head into the half.
Yeah, that last play is definitely something that sums up a team that's going through a lot of injuries. Again, like you mentioned, the bad snap, and then again it looked like Alex was a little fatigued. So when they came back for that last play to kill the clock, it looked like, again, because he's not used to playing the quarterback position, even if the clock didn't run out, they were in trouble because it looked like he was taking a knee instead of spiking the ball, so the clock would have ran out anyway. So that's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But again, 2 scores down. Still a lot of game left, but it's very tough to look at this first half and know that these 2 drives that ended in a return for a touchdown and the mishaps here at the end of the last closing seconds. So, unfortunate.
We are at halftime. Phillipsburg 14, Montgomery nothing. We will be back with the second half of play coming up right after this. You are caught in the mire. This is the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Welcome back to Montgomery. Keith Glock, Jason Gray, Matt Pogue, and Mandy Shovel. And we're getting set for the opening kickoff of the third quarter. Montgomery trails Phillipsburg 14-0. Jay, just recapping into that second quarter, Montgomery looked like they were going in there, and just a really unfortunate set of circumstances led to not only not scoring, but Benitez hobbling off.
Yeah, it's the only hope right now. You just got to stay positive. You see Alex is on the sideline taking snaps, so you really just have to have that short memory now and just say, hey, this is 0-0, and take it one play at a time. So, hopefully we get a big kickoff return right now. And, again, one play at a time,
Matt Hackade will kick off for Phillipsburg. Carsey and Mcfadden are the deep backs for Montgomery. They stand at about the 10-yard line. And it was going to be a little bit of a pooch kick. We'll see what the flag is. Going to get offsides on the kicking team, it looks like. And that'll back them up 5 yards. And to force them to show their hand there, too, a little bit of what they were trying to do.
Absolutely, and now they'll probably have to kick it off because if you pooch it, you're going to lose a lot of yards. You'll still give them a short field. So, that flag definitely helps out Montgomery.
So we'll see what Hackade does with it at his own 35-yard line this time.
Phillipsburg, ball at the 35-yard line.
When Montgomery has needed those big yardage plays, they have gotten them. So, certainly have the ability to get back into the game with 1 or 2 big plays. So we'll see what they can make happen. Hackade approaches it and puts a foot on it, and he does kick it deep, and this is going to be Carsey from his own 10, and he turns it upfield and ends up with a nice return out to the 32-yard line, and that's where Montgomery will start.
All right, well, this is what it's all about. Now it's what what you talked about in the locker room. Now it's time to come out, execute, stay positive, execute, one play at a time. 4 yards. 4 yards. That's what you're saying to yourself right now.
Benitez looks no worse for the weary as he will come back out to play quarterback. Again, forced into action under center with the injury to J.J. Malik on just the second play of the season last week. Mcfadden in motion, but the give is to Carsey, and he's going to be stopped right near the line of scrimmage. Give him a yard.
Okay, again, it's just one of those type of deals where you just have to be patient. You got to stay the course, and again, really just focus on the little things.
Picks up a yard. It's going to be
second down for the Cougs. Clock rolling in the third quarter. It's opening night of high school football here in Montgomery. Senior night, Gold Rush, you name it, we got it. And Montgomery trails it by 14. Benitez will sling it out to the left, and that is going to be caught and dropped in the backfield was Mcfadden.
Again, you got it right now. Speak to Alex, the quarterback. Don't get frustrated. All right. Obviously, you love to pick up a first down here. But again, take what they give you. So hopefully you get a nice running catch here.
Interested to see if how Benitez looks on the next pass attempt. Pogue noting that Benitez didn't look quite right on that pass play. Two receivers out to the wide side of the field here. Mcfadden is in the slot. And Benitez will roll. Throwing and nearly intercepted. Attempted for Mcfadden, but Matt Quittel, who is all over the place, was there, nearly made an acrobatic interception.
Well defense across the board. We're very fortunate not to have the pick on that play. So again, now you're getting out to gut check time where you're really trying to weather the storm. Hopefully the defense can hold serve here to get our offense back onto the field.
Benitez will be back to kick. He looked no worse for the wear on that throw, so no problems there. Jaleel Terrell is back, and he will come up to catch it at the 39-yard line. Makes the first man miss, and still on his feet. And he'll go down at the 45, and that's where the State Liners will begin first down and 10.
Again, big defensive series here for our guys. Hopefully they come out of the locker room refreshed, ready to go. And again, swarming to the ball and playing with a purpose.
I got to say, Timmy Bartholomew better be at home quaking in his boots, because the pinch hitting job that you're doing here, you're just bringing some knowledge. I appreciate that. I'd like you to know that.
Appreciate the kind words. I'm glad I could be a help. Again, I know I'm going to make plenty of mistakes tonight, but like I always tell my students, just own them, get better from them.
Here is Quittel, and he spins his way onto a gain of 8. Now, I also have to tell you that you're far more gracious than most of us usually, because I just put you on a tee to make fun of Timmy there, and you held off. So I don't know whether that shows temperance or just you're just too new at this for us, for kind of how we tend to roll. But either way, you're doing a great job, man.
Thank you. Yeah, I have to really sit down with Tim before I go ahead and crack jokes with him. Unlike my boy Pogue over here.
We know Pogue well enough. You're allowed to just let loose on Pogue whenever you want to, no problem. And we had a flag on the play, and we're getting it now, and it's going to be a personal foul for a hit to the head. And helmet-to-helmet contact results in a 15-yard foul. And boy, that's a chunk play. 8-yard run and a 15-yard tack on. And Garrity has his troops in position. Xavier Moore in the backfield now. He motions out into the wing as Quittel will take his usual spot as the I-back. He gets the carry, and he is chopped down there. A nice play by Carsey at the 30-yard line.
Again, this is really a time for our defense to really just keep the faith, stay poised, stay within the game. Let it come to you naturally, all right? Because, again, you have to have this controlled aggression, all right? Because the game is tough enough as it is. So when you emotionally get lost, that's when things can unravel on you.
Garrity again under center, and he loses the football, and boy, is he lucky to fall back on top of that thing at the 30-yard line. That could have been just what Montgomery needed, but Garrity, a good job there to recover.
It's a game of what ifs right now. So hopefully, you still have time to change around your luck, but things just aren't going their way. Lady luck is not on their side right now.
Garrity looking to get some signals from the sideline, and they motion back into a traditional I formation. And the give will be to Quittel. He's got running room up the middle. He's got a first down, and then he is tackled from behind as he gets inside the 15-yard line. It'll be first down for Phillipsburg, and that's a nice gain for their workhorse back, Matt Quittel.
Unfortunately, those things happen. When you have an opportunity to get a turnover, it's tough. Usually that does happen where a big play occurs right afterwards.
And we're going to have another flag on the play as there's a false start by Jacob Hilly, the 6'1", 215-pound fullback. just a little eager to get going there, so it'll be 1st and 15 for Phillipsburg. You talked about a game of what-ifs, Jay. This game, if you were to just play it out in the opposite direction, an interception on the 2-yard line, a goof at the 5-yard line, and that's really the difference. You punch in both of those opportunities, and in reality, it wouldn't even be that the other direction. It would be 14-7 Montgomery because the pick on the 2 resulted in a touchdown the other direction.
Such big swings in this ball game. And again, you have to give Phillipsburg a lot of credit. Coached up, poised. They're taking advantage of the situations given to them.
This is Cattell who cuts it back into the middle, and he is inside the 10-yard line down to about the 7.
Again, if you think back so far in this game, I mean, yeah, from our Montgomery point of view, things have just been so unfortunate. But that team, Phillipsburg, are seizing every moment that they've been given. So, you got to tip the cap off, and hopefully our guys will continue to just improve tonight.
Garrity gets his directions from the sideline, and he will turn around and hand it to Cattell, makes one man miss, and he has a first down. That will be goal to go inside the 5-yard line for Phillipsburg as we are approaching the 7-minute mark of the third quarter.
Need a stop. Definitely a stop. Worst case scenario, field goal, but need a stop. Hopefully we'll be fortunate enough to get a turnover here.
Probably going to see a steady dose of Matt Cattell here as Phillipsburg and Garrity will turn and hand it to him, and he will walk into the end zone for a Phillipsburg touchdown.
Again, just great execution by the Phillipsburg offensive line. They were doing a lot of counter, pull, kick, so a lot of movement by the line, getting the proper angles on our defensive linemen, getting into the hip pockets and getting a lot of movement. So they made it look easy, unfortunately.
Matt Hackade will come on to try the extra point.
Hackade to kick the extra point for Phillipsburg.
7:01 to play in the third quarter. And the extra point is on its way, and it doinks off the upright. No good. So it remains 20-0 Phillipsburg here, and we will take a break. Another touchdown for the State Liners, and Montgomery has found itself in a hole. We'll be back rest of the third quarter right after this. You're caught in the mire. It's the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Welcome back to Montgomery. Keith Glock, Jason Gray, Matt Pogum, Andy Shovlin with you on the opening night of home football in 2020. And 20s abound as it's 20-0 Peaburg. And Matt Hackade will kick it off for the State Liners. He will put foot to ball, and it is a little pooch kick out to the right, and that will be taken at about the 27-yard line and out to the 33 or so by Danny Turner, and that's where Montgomery will begin. Jay, you talked about it, just Peaburg capitalizing on every opportunity they've been given, and that really just is the difference in this ballgame.
Yeah. I mean, obviously our guys are well coached and coached up. You could tell that team over there, tremendous tradition. You can tell just the energy and just the way how they go about their game. It's you just have to tip your cap off to them. Right now they are just taking advantage of every situation. They are not hurting themselves, and so it is what it is. So our guys really just got to come out this drive and really try to make something happen here.
Benitez in the shotgun, and he will look to throw it. And he zips it out to the left, and that is caught complete for a gain of about 6 yards. And that was Dylan Mcfadden.
Yeah, and again, you just want to have that chip away mentality. You want the offensive line, again, stay positive, have that swagger about them. But again, the rest of the guys really just got to slow it down, realize they're in a good situation, and also keep things in perspective. All right, yeah, you want to come out here and win the game, but doggone, we're out here on a Friday night playing football, so let's just take advantage of that situation.
Second down and about 4 to go for Montgomery, and this will be Carsey as he cuts it up, and he's got a first down. He's into the secondary. He breaks away. Weber Carsey, he is going to go all the way for the touchdown. An impressive run for Weber Carsey. 54 yards for the Cougar score, and they are on the board.
And again, that's why you just want to stay composed, poised, positive, because when you have athletes like this that in one
second down
second,
and about
give
4 to
them
go
4
for
inches,
Montgomery,
and
and this will be Carsey as he cuts it up, and
back
he's
in
got
the
a first
ball game.
down. He's into the
Sideline
secondary. He breaks away. Weber Carsey, he is going to go all the way for the touchdown.
Going for 2.
Cougars going for 2.
Little trickeration on the 2-point conversion and unsuccessful on the conversion. It was actually going to be a 58-yard touchdown for Carsey, and you saw really his breakaway speed there. Once he got into the secondary, it was goodbye, gone, see you later, and that was pretty impressive from Carsey. You know, interesting, Montgomery went for 2 on that play, but, you know, I guess maybe the thought is you're still down by 2 scores now, even if you miss it, and if you make it, you can get ahead of the ball game a little bit there and maybe catch them off guard.
Yeah, definitely. It's the philosophy of the coaching staff, so I'm definitely not here to question it because you understand why they would go for 2. Again, my philosophy was I started chasing the 2-point conversions in the 4th quarter, but obviously you can see why in the 3rd quarter why they would do such, try to shorten the game where they could get closer with, you know, less scores on the board. So definitely a good choice. It's just unfortunate everyone could second guess when you don't make it. If they would have made it, everyone would have been applauding them. So.
Well, that's the name of the game all the time, right? We get to second guess everything. Whenever the wacky stuff works, you're a genius. If the wacky stuff doesn't work, you're a goat. You know, it is what it is. Benitez will tee it up at his 40-yard line.
Benitez back to kick for the Cougars.
And he sends it on its way, and it is taken at about the 9-yard line. Pretty decent return there for Phillipsburg out to the 32, and that's where the State Liners will begin first down and 10.
Crucial series. I mean, as a coaching staff, you're really hoping that our defensive side can get them 3 and out, let alone create a turnover. But if we could get this defense off the field quickly and get our offense back on, we'll be in a good spot. So, big series for us here for the defense.
First down and 10. 6 minutes remaining in the 3rd.
Let's see what Matt Garrity and his crew have dialed up on this series. 6 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. Phillipsburg 20, Montgomery 6. Senior signal caller is under center, and he turns, no surprise, gives to Quittel, and he's got a nice gain of about 8 yards out to the 40-yard line.
They're really right now having their way. Unfortunately, these running backs, great vision. And again, they're not really getting touched till they're about 3 yards upfield. So hopefully that will change soon. We see we have an injury on the field on the Phillipsburg side.
It is Quittel who is still down, and it looks like he's cramping up a little bit, and that's something that we see all the time early in the season. There was a game that we did early in the year up at Basking Ridge, 4 or 5 years ago, where it was just brutally hot, and it was the first year that Montgomery had gone to the spread offense. So I believe Chris Chuganoff was a junior at that time, and still feeling his way through the offense. So the offense's inconsistency early in the season meant that the defense was on the field a lot. And that day at Ridge, I just remember there was just cramping going on everywhere.
Again, that is part of the game, especially when the synthetic turf has now played a part in it, spread offenses. And again, for these guys with dealing with the pandemic in the short amount of time that you were able to spend, working out over the summers and hydrating and doing all those things, and whether you're in school in person or whether you're virtually and you're hydrating yourself, there's so much to the equation of why young men are cramping up.
So Cattell will have to go to the sideline. This will be the first offensive possession they have without him, so we'll see where they turn without their top running back. All in all, Phillipsburg in decent control of this one, lead it by 14, 20-6. It'll be second down and short for the State Liners, their own 41-yard line. And it will be, again, power eye football and a first down. That time, that was Xavier Moore, the little 5'10", 150-pound sophomore, as he spells Cattell nicely.
Yeah, right now they're just doing a great job of getting our guys out of the box, our outside backers. So they're looking to the Twins look, that last one where the slot was definitely out wide, walked their linebacker out, and they ran off tackle. So now his split's a little bit tighter, so let's see if they're going to run some type of combo where he's running it out.
Moore, again, remains in the backfield, and they give it to Hilly, the fullback, and he will take it out near midfield for a gain of about 4, and that was something kind of expected to see today as a little change of pace from the fullback.
Great job. Again, lower his shoulders, picking up, 4+ yards. Great job by the fullback.
Phillipsburg continuing, and really no reason to be in a rush at this point. If you're going to rip off 4 or 5 yards of carry, you go get the guidance from the sideline. Nothing's fancy about it. You just turn around and hand it off to the I-back, and Moore again bounces this one to the outside, and he's got a first down, and he'll eventually be dragged out of bounds by a host of Montgomery players inside the 40-yard line.
Yes, right now this is some tough times for our guys up front. They really got to dig down deep, all right, look to get that stop. And hopefully we can get a turnover here because right now they're struggling up front.
That's one of those things where when you're that defensive end and you crash down, you just have to hold contain on the outside, and you can't let the running back bounce to the outside. Otherwise, it's chunk play after chunk play. If you watched the Cowboys and the Browns last week, that was what you saw on the ground, as Moore again there will barrel ahead down near the 30-yard line.
Yeah, as a defensive end, you have to know your strengths and weaknesses. So if you're a type of end where you have good size and strength, yeah, you could post it and basically just step down on that guy and post him and hold your position. If you're a little smaller in stature, if they're getting the best of you, then maybe you want to wrong arm them, take them into the thighs, and then you just create a pile, and then it makes it difficult for the running back to have that lane.
Hilly again, the fullback on the carry, and he is stacked up at the line of scrimmage, and that's going to bring up a big third down for Montgomery. See if they can, well, it's probably 4-down territory here if we're being honest.
Absolutely. Hopefully our linemen now, if they're really having a difficult time where they're getting driven off the ball, this is where you really got to think about, dropping a knee, creating piles in the hole so that you're making that running back bounce it outside, but yet those offensive linemen aren't going to the second level and getting to your linebackers, so the linebackers are able to scrape and run free.
Garrity under center, turn, and gives to Moore. There's a big hole there on the right side, and he tries to cut it back inside. And regardless, he's got a first down to the 26-yard line, so a new set of downs for Phillipsburg.
And again, I'm sure they've been coached up, but it's very difficult for teenagers to understand the concept. If you're getting double teamed or if you're getting pushed back, you got to go down. You got to drop a knee. You got to bring down those offensive linemen with you. But again, who wants to basically, say that you're giving up on a play? They want to stick with it, and then sometimes that takes them out of the play. And again, that allows offensive linemen to chip and get to the next level, and that's what we're seeing tonight.
Moore still in the game for Cattell, who left with some cramps as he spins his way down near the 20-yard line. And this is just power football. There is nothing special about what's happening right now. This is just body on body, and we're going to run into the A and B gap and see what happens.
This is old school, and these are the debates I have with friends that are coaching now and other programs that are running spread and throwing the ball around. Again, nothing is more demoralizing than having a team just run between the tackles, and you can't stop them. It's very, very difficult, and it's very, very, it takes a lot of you. It takes a lot of steam, a lot of energy out of you.
Garrity again turns and hands to Moore. They're looking for room off the right side this time, and it's not there. That's a good job by Montgomery, as you saw Mcfadden streak into the backfield there. It's a great job by the Cougs.
Yeah, and again, it's the difficulty of stopping the run is there's a lot of pushing and pulling. So I always equate it to like
Garrity
being
again turns and hands to more. They're looking for room off the right side this time, and it's not there. That's a good job.
It's almost like 7-on-7 or playing flag. The physicality when someone's running in between the tackles takes a lot out of the individual and the team collectively.
One thing that Montgomery does not or has less time of is time. And clock is ticking down now, under 2 minutes to go in the quarter. And a big third down here for Phillipsburg, though I imagine, again, that we're pretty close to 4-down territory. Garrity puts a man in motion, and he will keep it, looking to throw. He's going for the end zone, and he's got a man wide open. Great disguise that time for the Phillipsburg touchdown. That was Tim Fearson, the 6'3", 180-pound junior tight end.
And unfortunately, that's textbook. That's what we were talking about earlier in the ball game, where if a team establishes a run, that exposes you to the play-action pass. And there it was. You just knew it would be a matter of time that they would try to take advantage of it. And again, like we've seen all night, Phillipsburg has really seized every opportunity that's come their way.
90 ticks to go in the third quarter. That lead now back up to 20. Peaburg looking to make it again a 3-touchdown game here, though it looks like they have the offensive personnel on the field. They do. Moore remains in the game. Garrity is in the gun, but they'll look for some guidance from the sideline to see exactly what they want to do here. They go back to the eye. And again, it's a keeper. It's pretty much the same play, except this time Garrity is going to keep it himself, and he will walk it in for 2.
Again, great execution, great play call. Again, taking advantage of what the Montgomery players are doing now. They're definitely, their goal is to stop the run. So you're seeing the pursue and the misdirection is just catching them off guard at this time.
I'd like to remind everybody,
We are going to take a break. 1:29 to go third quarter. Phillipsburg 28 and Montgomery 6. You are caught in the mire. This is the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Welcome back here to Montgomery. Keith Glock, Jason Gray, Matt Pogue, and Mandy Shevlin with you. The home opener for the Cougs, and Phillipsburg is throwing its weight around here as they lead at 28-6. Matt Hackade will tee it up for Peaburg. And again, it's going to be a short kick that is going to be taken just shy of the 30-yard line. That was Danny Turner. So Montgomery will take over there, and I would imagine right now you got to look to rip off some plays in chunks if you can.
Absolutely. You're hoping that some of your go-to guys are able to make a big play. In worst case scenario, this is where you're starting to think about those gadgets that you have in your back pocket, maybe utilizing one of those.
We'll see what Benitez does here. All the athletic ability in the world for that young man, as he will give to Pharrell Allen, who will pound it out past the 34 near the 35-yard line, so gain of about 5.
Definitely good start. Good start. We'll see whether or not we still look like we're in a running situation. So sometimes if you get that 2nd and 1, that's when you're going to go for the throat and try to go up top. But I think right now they'll probably still try to keep the ball on the ground, at least get half the yardage back.
Allen remains in the backfield as Benitez will again hand it off to the senior, and he is roped down at the 39-yard line, about a yard shy of the first down.
And this is one of those situations of what Coach Carty wants to dial up. Do you put the ball in Alex's hand and look to get this 1 yard, or is this a time maybe that you go up top knowing that you'll go for it on 4th and short? So we'll see. We'll see whether they decide to go up top or they'll play the conservative, smart route where you just go ahead and look to get the first down now.
I'd keep it in my quarterback's hands here if I was Coach Carty. Although Benitez is to make sure he secures the snap. That's been something that he's been struggling with a little bit today, and it is Benitez, and he's got the first down. And, boy, that was very clear. He ran with some purpose there and said, I need to get one so that we get a new set of downs here.
Absolutely knew the situation. Great job by the coaching staff. Let them know, lower the shoulder. Do not dance. Do not scamper around. Get the first down. So great job across the board.
We have played 3 quarters in Montgomery. Phillipsburg 28 and Montgomery 6. We'll be back with the final stanza right after this. You're caught in the mire. This is the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Welcome back here to Montgomery. And Benitez is going to be sacked. Yeah, we'll call it a gain of about a half yard, so not a sack for Phillipsburg, but all in all making something out of nothing.
You could tell Phillipsburg again, executing their game plan, going into this game, into this night, their goal was to make sure that number 2 does not beat them. And so, again, it's great to see some of the other teammates come up with big plays. But, again, every program, every team, they go in with a checklist of what the do's and don'ts. And you definitely could tell that they know that number 2, they did not want him to hurt them tonight. So they've done a good job containing them. Alex has been absolutely a warrior tonight. But, again, tip the cap off to the Phillipsburg squad. And we'll see if we get something going here in the last 12 minutes of this ball game.
A little more cramping from Phillipsburg. So we've again come to you never want to see injuries, but at least, as you watch the athletic trainer stretch a guy out, it's not anything serious. And, you can just chalk that up to cramps. And, it's not even a warm night. It's actually a pretty nice, brisk fall night here. So, but, you get into the 4th quarter early in the season. This is the kind of stuff that happens no matter what happens.
Absolutely. Yeah, the bodies have not been conditioned to go 4 quarters, especially during this COVID crisis. So you can only imagine what their bodies would be going through if we were playing games in early September where the temperatures on the turf were over 100 at certain times of the day. So
it will be 2nd down and about 9 as soon as Montgomery can get back to the line here. We are just underway in the 4th quarter. Senior night, and we had an extensive senior night presentation in the pregame. Cougars now will bring it back out. Alex Benitez doing an admirable job playing quarterback for this team, replacing the injured J.J. Malik last week, as he will again look to throw it. He's stepping up and he's unloading, shooting down the right sideline. I got a man there, and just a little bit too far out in front. And again, he was looking for Dylan Mcfadden, who had a step on the defense.
Definitely had a step on him, just a little bit overthrown. Wonderful protection by the guys up front, giving him enough time to let go. He didn't get touched on the play. It's just one of those things. It was just a tad bit short. So we'll see where we go from there.
Boy, I wouldn't be hesitant at all to allow Benitez to throw the ball down the field. Those have been the couple of shot plays that he has taken down the field. Obviously hit on one of them, and that was a fingertip away. It's certainly doesn't look like the effort of a backup quarterback on plays like that.
Absolutely not. It's definitely something to think about in the near future. I'm sure Coach Cardi and the crew, if you could work that play action, that zone read, and do a play action over top with a long fade, they may have something moving forward.
Rolling to his left now, Benitez, as he avoids one man. Now he'll come back to the right and get some nice yardage out to midfield. Gain of about 7. So that brings up a manageable situation. However, an injury on the play, and that is Benitez, who is down.
Just a tough situation for the young man because, again, he really rarely, obviously, they've given him the spells now, obviously, on defense. But offensively, he has been carrying a lot of weight. They may have taken a lot of shots. Hopefully,
rolling to his left now, Benitez, as he avoids one man. Now he'll come back to the right and get some nice yardage out to mid. It's the best sign that I could have seen right there is trainers go out and all of a sudden the one leg just gets stuck up in the air, and that's the sure sign of cramps and not anything much more serious than that. But so the cramping bug affecting both sidelines here, and I got to tell you, I've been super impressed with the play of Benitez here tonight. I didn't quite know what to expect, especially when you're a guy who hardly comes off the field. This wasn't the role you were expecting to play all preseason long, but you finally get a whole week of preparation. Last week it was kind of like a whirlwind. You're thrown into the fire. This week, you go in and you say, okay, well, what plays do you like? What plays do I like as a coach that I want to call? Can we execute somewhere in the middle of all of that stuff? You ever faced with a situation like that where you have to, just really turn to guys and say, what do we think these guys can do? And that forces you to change a little bit, I would think.
Yeah, that's the name of the game with football, and especially when you're short on the depth chart. So, again, we have a lot of guys on the sidelines, but a lot of probably inexperienced. So when you're thrusted into a situation where it's basically all hands on deck and you have to change your philosophy and change the type of game planning that you are looking to execute, not just during the season or the week, it puts you in a challenging spot. But again, attitude reflects leadership. The coaches will always be that duck on water where behind the scenes, you're trying to figure it out with your staff. But after you leave that coach's room, you're going out in the united front, and you have nothing but positive vibes, positive energies, and getting these kids to believe. And that's what you could tell what happened tonight. These kids are playing with a lot of swagger. They know they've been in a tough spot, but they're not quitting. And that's what the game is all about, is always playing each down as if it's your last. And we're seeing that tonight. So I couldn't be prouder than these guys. Just a fine showing when they're in a tough spot.
Benitez still down, so we'll take a little bit of a quick break here for you. We'll be back right after this. You're caught in the mind. Well, you know what? And as I say that, he's up. So, you know what? Maybe we won't take a break. Let's stay here. I just made Poke do a little bit of unnecessary work, but it's about time he did something. So, all good. A game of missed opportunities for Montgomery. Turned it over heading into score early in the game. It was a 98-yard interception return for a touchdown from Jaleel Terrell. And just before the half, Montgomery also could not punch it in as they were going in on the 5-yard line. So let's see what they do here. And it is going to be Carsey on the keeper, and he cuts it upfield, and I think he's got enough for a first down with forward progress. We'll see where they mark it. But I think now Phillipsburg is going to say that they have the ball. It certainly looked like his forward progress was stopped. I think that's going to be Montgomery football. No, and they're going to say Phillipsburg has it. Certainly looked like his forward progress was stopped. Jay, what did you see on that?
It definitely was something where you did see the progress stop, but again, the officials had not blown the whistle, so unfortunately for Montgomery, it goes off of the whistle and not truly the progression of being stopped by our players. So wish there would have been a little bit quicker whistle, but sometimes the officials let them play out. So it's, again, unfortunate. But, you have to give respect to the officials to allow the young man to try to make a play. And, you never want to see a whistle blown too early as well.
So Phillipsburg takes over just shy of midfield, and they will again go back to power football. And this time it is going to be the big man, Raquan Dixon, 5'10", 230-pound junior. And boy, he is a load trying to bring him down.
And this is when they're just going to try to impose their will on our guys. This is when you just have to knuckle up and really just find that dog and you just to fight through it. Just fight through it.
Well, and that's how tough is that? Matt Quattel goes out of the game and you go, oh, maybe we'll get a little bit of a break. Like, no, here's a bowling ball. Go tackle it. That's great. And again, the give is to Dixon, and he has got room, and he's chopped down there. And Turner was there to make the stop, but again, after a healthy gain, that big number 33 reminds me of Michael Turner running downhill all those years, and that is a tough thing to tackle.
That is power running, and that's when you gotta, aim for those thighs. I never say aim for the knees, because you never want to see a youngster go out with a knee injury. But you can't tackle him up top, that's for sure.
You are not bringing him down if you try to go high. And here again is Dixon. And he's got some running room off the right side this time. And you could see him dragging a couple of guys. And there is the turnover. Ball is out. Montgomery is going to have it. And they come up with it. So one good turn deserves another as Danny Boyer comes up with the football, and Montgomery has it right back.
Great job by Montgomery. First guy in, wrapped up.
If you try to go high, and here again is Dixon. And he's got some running room off the right side this time, and you could see him dragging a couple of guys. And there is the turnover. Ball is football and has something to say about it at the end. 9:45 to play in the ball game, and Montgomery with a little bit of life. Carsey will remain in the game as the quarterback, as Benitez still a little bit hobbled, getting some attention on the sideline. And we're going to have a flag as Montgomery got going a little bit too soon there. And it is a false start, so it'll be a 5-yard penalty against the Cougs. That'll back them up to the 25-yard line. Don't want to shoot yourself in the foot here, Jay, after that kind of momentum.
Definitely. It's your mind is going so many different places because you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. You want to keep playing. You want to play to win the game, but you also want to keep your guys healthy. So it's a tough situation that Coach Carty and the staff have right now.
Carsey, as he will take the snap, and he gives to Pharrell Allen, who gets out of the first tackle and holds on to the ball. As you can see, Peberg in there, Declan Marin just trying to rip the football out. We'll call it a 1-yard gain for Carsey.
And again, now your playbook is limited. You want to put the kids in the best situation they can. You obviously don't want to call anything that makes anyone uncomfortable, so you're limited to what you can do. So whether it's some type of zone read or some type of just basically, fade, but really not going to look for combos and reading the defense on this one probably.
Carsey will keep it as he looks for running room off the left side, and he is met in the hole there by big number 52, Stephen Garral.
And again, just looking at it from up top, this is we're looking at it, we're in a tough spot, but just by the body language. You see Peberg, they're still flying around. They got a lot of energy in them while the play is occurring. Our guys are starting to slow down a little bit. They're getting a little fatigued. They're not running the legs to the whistle. A little bit of standing around. That concerns me moving forward because this is when guys could get rolled up and on those sort of things if they're not able to run their legs and play to the whistle.
Clock ticking, under 9 minutes to go. 2 receivers to the wide side of the field as Pharrell Allen joins Carsey in the backfield. And Weber corrals it. He's looking to throw. He throws it out to the right side, and that is going to be incomplete. He was intended for Brooks Dahl. And that looks like it's going to bring up 4th down. Danny Boyer is going to punt it with Benitez out on the sideline. And like you said, Jay, that was just a limited playbook opportunity there with your quarterback on the sideline.
Absolutely. Now you're taking in water. The ship is taking in water. You got to plug the holes. You got to hopefully get a good snap and a punt here by a new punter as well. So we'll see.
Boyer nearly has it blocked, but actually sends away a pretty good kick, although it takes a Phillipsburg bounce and out of bounds at about the 45-yard line, and that's where they'll start. But all in all, a good job by Boyer to just get that ball away.
Absolutely. So that's again another positive takeaway when you go back and look at films. Now you're just going to talk to the defense, talk about just whole serve. I mean, this is really now where we're talking about the game within the game, why we play the game. Respect now. How are we going out? Are we going out on our feet or are we going to go out on our knees? I know this staff, I know these young men, they're going to go out on their feet. They're going to give everything they got for the remainder of this game.
Phillipsburg is taking an awful lot of time after the ball was set ready for play there. They better hurry up and get out here and snap the football before they get themselves a 5-yard penalty. Garrity.
They got the young guys in.
And they will turn and hand it off. And Phillipsburg has made some substitutions, as my man Jay Gray has pointed out. Garrity will remain in the game as the signal caller. Matt Cattell is there on the carry. So gain of 5.
Yeah, so this is that part of the game where, again, you want to play everything out to the best of your ability. Phillipsburg, again, slowly probably going to start to bring in some younger guys. But again, Montgomery, again, you got to go out like Cougars. Go out roaring, go out with enthused, playing tough, hard-nosed defense.
Absolutely makes sense that Phillipsburg would love to chew as much of this clock as they can, as Cattell again will carry it off the left side. He's got about 4. He's close to a first down, but short by about a yard.
Yeah, I mean, now you're just seeing Phillipsburg, again, being patient, knowing the situation. And you see those young guys in the white uniforms, they're really executing. You can tell looking at the body language, there's so much control of what they want to do. And again, we got to give our guys credit too. They're sticking their heads in there, and they're going to finish off this game strong. So hopefully we can create another turnaway and get another takeaway. We'll see.
Under 7 minutes to go as we're nearing the midway point of the fourth quarter. And Gary will keep it himself that time, and he has enough for the first down inside the 45-yard line of Montgomery. So a new set of downs for Phillipsburg here as they're just grinding this one away.
Yeah, this is when you start to look at the clock, and again, now the first thing you're probably going through your mind is obviously let's get a stop. But now you really start thinking about what guys are fresh, what guys do we need to get off the field, because there is a tomorrow. So again, it's that fine line of, all right, who do we want to finish off this game strong, and who do we need to get off the field so that we can be prepared for next week.
Garrity really doing everything he can to milk the clock. He looks for what he was actually doing there to give you some insight, as again they will just run and push the pile and push the pile for 8 and 9 yards. Boy, that's impressive. Obviously in high school football, there's no play clock down on the field. So, where in the NFL, you can see the little graphic that flies up on the screen. That doesn't exist down here. So the way the officials work it is one of the deep officials starts counting with his hand out in the air, and that's what Garrity was waiting for, because you have 5 seconds of that official counting before you get a delay game penalty. So as soon as he starts counting, that's when Garrity was taking the snap.
Great character from Phillipsburg. They're playing the game the right way. Like you said, waiting for the 5 seconds left in the clock. Again, tightening their splits, and they're just going to look to run out this clock and go back to Phillipsburg with a win without, obviously they're still playing the game. They're running the ball hard, but they're not, putting the ball up and running in and spread stuff. A lot of class on their part.
Cattell with another run down to the 26-yard line. He's got another first down. 1st and 10 for Phillipsburg, although we have a flag. And we'll see what they're going to call. They're going to call a hit to the head by the running back? I think they are. They're going to call Cattell for using his head in a situation there. And, a concussion's obviously a major thing that, everybody is looking at these days. That one might be a bit of a game management decision by this officiating crew there.
Yeah, we definitely benefited from that call. I never understood how, running backs or the offensive guys could get called for a head-to-head when they're running the ball trying to protect themselves. You're not going to run straight up. You're going to have to square your shoulders, get down low to be able to push the pile and push back defenders, because if you stand up straight, they'll split you in two. So I'm sure the coaching staff are going to tell the running back to keep doing that.
So Garrity will turn again and hand it off. And again, Phillipsburg pushing the pile for a couple of yards.
On the carry for State Liners.
And that time, that was Xavier Moore. He's back in the game for Quittel, but the clock keeps rolling, and that's ultimately what Phillipsburg wants.
Yep, and I mean, this is one of those games where, you look back, they'll look at the film tomorrow, and they'll point out the mistakes that were made. And if they would have cleaned that up, we could be looking at a much competitive fourth quarter than we did tonight. But again, it's everything's a growing experience, and the one thing you can't take away is the heart and the desire that these guys played with tonight, both sides.
Third down for Phillipsburg. Montgomery showing blitz, and it comes. The ball's on the ground, and it looks like Phillipsburg able to jump back on top of it.
On the play, recovered by Phillipsburg.
So clock continues to roll near the 3-minute mark. It'll be fourth down for Phillipsburg. And this is another one of those in-between situations where do you go for it, do you not?
Yeah, they'll probably go for it. Looks like, we have our young guys out. They have a lot of their younger guys. They'll probably just go ahead and go for it. Again, try to chew up some of the clock. Unless they want to call a timeout and punt it. But, again, it's up to your philosophy how you are with the program. If you're worrying about the scoreboard, though, it looks like you have the win in hand. Some coaches would want to pin the opponent and make sure that they keep another score off the board. Some coaches, they're just okay with just letting the game play out. And if a team scores an extra touchdown or field goal, they're okay with it. So we'll see.
And they're not going to run a play. They are going to call a timeout there. So it will be a timeout for Phillipsburg with 2:45 to go in this ball game. They lead it 28-6. We'll take a quick break with them. You're caught in the mire. This is the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Welcome back to Montgomery. Keith Glock, Jason Gray, Matt Polk, Mandy Shovlin. It is fourth down for Phillipsburg, and they are going to give it on a jet sweep here out to the right, and that is going to be short of the first down. As a really nice tackle there by Mark Jenkins, as Declan Marin tried to get the edge, and he couldn't do it.
Yeah, and again, another moral victory, a little small victory for the young guys out there, something that they can take home with them tonight, getting some time at the end of the game and making a big stop on a fourth down play. So good for the younger guys, second, third teamers. Now it's just putting it all together, making sure that you have the proper personnel in. But like I said, now the most important thing is to get out of here without any more injuries.
So Montgomery will take over, 2:37 to play. Benitez is back in the ball game. You like to see that, as he was getting some medical attention for a good long while there, and he is going to throw it on first down. He wanted to go deep and didn't have anybody, so instead he'll pull it down and run, and he'll pick up a couple before he is dropped at about the 42-yard line.
Pickup of
Now we're in a tough situation because, again, their defense is basically going to play a prevent. So that long stuff is very difficult to accomplish. So, again, you're stuck between the rock and a hard place right now because you want to win this. You want to put points on the board. But, again, you got some guys that are pulling up with cramping in those situations. So you're walking a fine line right now. It's a tough job to be a head coach right now.
Benitez and Carsey in the backfield for Montgomery. And Benitez again will throw it. Zings it out here to Mcfadden, and he is going to be driven out of bounds at midfield, but it's good enough for a first down.
Good job checking down. And again, what we're seeing here is Coach Carty and these guys just coaching it up to the end. Because, again, we're only the second game into the season, so you don't want to put the guys in harm's way, which they are not doing. You want to start to, these are things that you can work on that will get you better for next week. So, and you can't simulate this during the week with your practice guys. So why not do it tonight? Work on some things that you're going to work on, hopefully be able to execute next weekend.
See what Benitez has dialed up here on first down as he will throw it again. As he steps up in the pocket, he's throwing deep. He's looking for Mcfadden. Can he run under it? He drops it inside the 10-yard line. And another really nice throw, that time from Benitez. But is what it is.
I'm telling you, these young men and this coaching staff, they really have a well-oiled machine here when it comes to just play calling, all right, and again, just playing till the last down, playing each down as if it's their last. They have a good thing going here. I know scoreboard doesn't show it, but again, for what they're dealing with injuries against this quality opponent, tip your cap off to them.
Second down here for Benitez as he tried to throw it out to the right. Now he's got to escape out that direction, and he heaves it down the field and nearly comes up with a completion, but it just skips in a little bit too short, looking for Ryan Curry. That was the first time that we called his name today.
And again, this is what you're just witnessing here. Is just it's heart. It's heart. So you can't teach that. You're born with it. That's part of your DNA, and you can see, from the Montgomery point of view, this team has a lot of heart, well coached, and they're not quitting. So again, you got to tip your cap off to the opponents. Phillipsburg, they played a well-played game, absolutely flawless. But again, Montgomery, there's a lot of positives that you could take from this night.
Third down, right near the midfield line. Benitez sliding in the pocket, now under pressure, looking, and he is going to go down back at his own 40-yard line, and that was just out of self-preservation as much as anything else.
Absolutely. And again, you can tell young man is very smart, and again, the coaching staff is smart. They probably told him, do not take a hit, young man. We're playing this game, we're playing to win, but don't go out there and try to be a hero because we need you for tomorrow. So, again, you're still playing tonight, but you're also starting to think about next week now.
There are no 22-point plays in the arsenal, unfortunately, in a situation like that. So Montgomery will punt it away as we're ticking under a minute to go in this ball game. Benitez sends a monster of a kick as that ball bounces out near the 10-yard line, and it's retrieved, and Phillipsburg is going to get a nice little return out of this out to the 26-yard line. That's a good job by the State Liners. 30 seconds to go there as Danny Gale had a nice little return. So what do you take away from game number one here, Jay?
Well, definitely, we're coming in here a little short when it comes to, guys being injured, but I will take away a lot of positives. In that film session, obviously, tomorrow, they're going to break down a lot of mistakes that were made. But again, you'll walk away from this. These young men, and I think this coaching staff, in a matter of seconds, when they go shake the hands or fist bump or whatever we're going to do with Phillipsburg at the conclusion of this game, they could look the opponent in the eye and say, good game. And they'll have the respect of the opponent. And again, I always come back to that. That's one of the most important things is when you compete against someone, you want to have respect. You want them to respect you. And I think they earned their respect today. So, again, a lot of things are fixable. So, again, tomorrow's another day. You'll lick your wounds. You'll look at film. All right, you'll break it down. You'll give them tough love. You'll critique them. And then Monday, there's another week. Turn the page, and you look to get your first win of the season.
It's one of those false start penalties that I don't think anybody loved. Right there to extend this game for another 45 seconds. And Phillipsburg will just take a knee on it, and that will do it. The first ball game of the season is in the books, and it will go final. Phillipsburg 28 and Montgomery 6. And Jason Gray, I cannot tell you how much we thank you for stepping in for Timmy, and he better watch out. You might have a permanent role here, buddy.
Look out, Timmy. I'm coming for your job. Thank you so much for having me here. It was so much fun. Wish we could have came out on top, but again, I think these guys, family and friends, have a lot to cheer about, be proud about. Their loved ones played a heartfelt game out there. You know, they played each down as if it was their last, and I commend them. And again, I want to thank everyone for allowing me to join you in this Friday night event.
Well, that was good. You took one little pot shot at Timmy. We'll take it. We'll take it wherever we can get it. We will be back. Next football game is home next Thursday evening against North Hunterdon, October the 15th. We will be live for that one. So we thank you for tuning in and watching. Final score here in Montgomery. Phillipsburg 28, Montgomery 6. For Matt Pogue, Mandy Shevlin, and Jay Gray, I'm Keith Glock. Thank you for watching.